Hadi Choopan, Iranian IFBB Pro. This guy is an absolute shredded freak for sure. Alright guys, what's going on? It's been long overdue that I bring you guys a quality video like this, and today it's going to be on Hadi Choopan, the Persian Wolf, an Iranian IFBB Pro. Now this guy has clearly been bodybuilding probably at least a couple decades, and unfortunately his contest history is not very specific online. Now this guy comes out of the Middle East and has competed over there in the European and IFBB Pro leagues there. This guy is all about conditioning. He brings a serious level of conditioning to the stage and pretty much gets more peeled than anyone in the open class, and he kind of reminds me honestly of an Andreas Munzer type, where his skin just gets paper thin on his chest and you can see every single striation in his chest, which we don't see from a lot of bodybuilders today, especially in the open class. And you can tell this guy's muscle is built from heavy lifting, and he has plenty of heavy lifting videos on YouTube, but the dates and the specifics aren't really there, but he's seriously strong. So what does that mean for Hadi Choopan? Well, Hadi Choopan is an IFBB Pro, and what you're looking at here is a picture of him winning the overall in the Olympia Amateur World Showdown in Moscow at the end of 2016. This was his biggest pro show. It's also said that he's won the IFBB Diamond Cup in Dubai, and he's definitely a top contender in lots of pro shows, but again, it's hard to find information on this guy. But this is his biggest victory, which qualified him for the 2017 Olympia. And what's weird is that this show that I showed you pictures of, which is why he could have gone to the Olympia, they don't have the official scorecards up, so something's a little sketchy there, but I'm not sure what. So as I said before guys, there's not very much competition history on Google on this guy, especially in English, and his biggest show up until just recently, which is why I'm making a video on Hadi, was that Olympia Amateur Showdown. And what you're looking at here are some pictures from his show last weekend, this past weekend, where he got second to Flex Lewis. And I'm gonna run these pictures once and go through them again. So what we're gonna start comparing here is the conditioning, and I guess midsection as well, and overall muscle groups. Now, if you look closely, you can definitely see that Hadi seems to be pushing Flex in tightness in some muscle groups. His lower back, specifically his hamstrings and quad sweep from the rear, they're not matched by Flex Lewis. Definitely strong cuts in the abs and in the pecs and everywhere in the back. When your erectors have cross cuts in them, you know you're absolutely peeled. And if you just look at the conditioning, he may not be much leaner than Flex, but he's way harder and fuller, and something's just not right there with Flex. And people are gonna argue and say that possibly his gut was distended, but honestly, in my opinion, I don't think anyone else's gut was better. So to say that Hadi is second because of that, I'm not really sure if that makes a lot of sense, because yeah, his upper abs, if you look there, he's definitely got a rib cage that pokes out, but that's kind of just genetics. This guy could probably pull a pretty mean vacuum, and he gets his abs flat, especially there compared to Flex. So like I said, his rib cage does poke out a little bit more, but you see his lower abs are pulled in, and he has just more dice than Flex. You can see the separation in the abs, the separation in the quads, and even some of the glute detail. It's pretty spot on. Now Flex does match him in the calves from the side shots, but again, what we saw in the hamstring earlier is just not matched by Flex. So I'm not sure if Flex was the right call. This is probably the first time I've seen him beaten outright. It looks like he got several steps worse after the Olympia, probably from traveling and everything he's been through, unfortunately. And it looks like this Hadi guy came in guns blazing, and you can see here, he's just shredded to the bone. The purpose of this video is not to touch on the guts and on Flex versus Hadi, even though that's like the hottest topic right now. Specifically, I just wanted to kind of show you guys that the Middle East is bringing hardcore bodybuilders, which is obvious, but there's guys that can't even come to the States to compete, and this guy, you know, in a lineup here would do serious damage. He was miles ahead of David Henry at that show. Parts of his physique were miles ahead of Flex at that show. Maybe not Flex's all-time best, but at that competition, this guy was there. This guy is crazy heavy lifting, and you can see it in his physique. This guy isn't doing, you know, hammer strength with 3 or 4 plates on presses. He's probably doing crazy heavy stuff. And here's a video of him squatting on Instagram. Not really sure what the hell he's doing here. We all know that bodybuilders, for the most part, their form could be a little iffy. Yeah, he may be half squatting here, like this guy commented, but this guy's seriously moving some weight, and yeah, you can't really mess with these Middle Eastern guys. You know, the quality of their protocols, the quality of their training, and their food is spot on. And once these guys can compete against the 212s you see in the Olympia, you see the difference. So Ashkenani can come here. He had no visa problems, but unfortunately this Hadi guy, we may never see him stateside. But if any of you guys know more about him, post some info below. It's pretty hard to find, but this guy was a serious threat last weekend, and unfortunately we may not see him again, probably not stateside ever. All right guys, so I hope you enjoyed that video, and maybe we'll be back for some more. Peace. Thank you.